All right, so we were talking about Jordan Travis before the break, not specifically Jordan Travis. It was a larger point we were making about where Florida State's at, where I think they can go, and maybe what this game will look like. But towards the end, we mentioned his demeanor, his body language, and the frustration that he exuded in the last football game, which I do think suggests more than just a play breaking down or a receiver dropping a pass or a play call. I think that is indicative of a player that has very lofty expectations and is failing to meet them, whether he is, or his teammates are, his coach, whatever it might be. And that's good. I want my quarterback to believe that they can be capable of really consistent elite level play. And I don't think that Jordan Travis believed he was that player a year ago at all. But I think he thinks he's that player now. Now, I don't really care to have an argument about where I would place him on that list of elite to average to wherever. It doesn't really matter. I'm only talking about what he thinks. And I want my quarterback, no matter if he sucks, I want my quarterback, and he doesn't suck. But no matter what, I want my quarterback to believe that, because I think at that position, you'd better believe that. You better think you're capable. You better hold yourself to a very, very lofty standard. So I get being frustrated by not meeting that standard or having a series, or in this case, a half, in which it falls to pieces and the angst you feel reaches a place of boiling over. But I hope that in addition to sitting down and talking about decisions, in addition to sitting down and talking about, what went right, what went wrong, as you do after every game with every position group, as well as the team, you do this is every game. I hope there was a conversation about why it's important, and it has nothing to do with Mike Norvell with my feelings, because Mike's tough and he played ball and he gets it. Like, I don't think Mike's feelings are hurt when somebody yells at him, or his player kind of is frustrated and walks away. I don't think his feelings are hurt. I think he's trying to communicate, and he's like, hey man, we need to talk. But Jordan has to understand who's watching, and that's his teammates. Doesn't matter that you and I are watching. It's not a good look, doesn't really endear you to the fans, but that doesn't matter. It really more matters that your teammates see that frustration and they look to you as an unquestioned leader, unshakable, more importantly, unshakable, locked in, ready to go back to battle when something goes poorly, not hold on to those frustrations and failures. And it's the first time we've ever seen from him back-to-back games where things carried over, where a poor decision, a poor result carried over to the next series, carried over to the sidelines. That can't happen. That has to stop. You can't be that guy and expect to have your teammates feel about you the way they need to feel about you in the biggest moments of a football game. They got to believe 100% that you're moving on and you're capable and you're not angry with them, angry with a play call, angry with a result. It can't be. It has to be play the next play. It has to be what's up next. Next game, next quarter, next play. Has to be. Can never be what just occurred. There's a moment in time, maybe you throw that interception and the guy's returning it and whatever, you yell out F and the camera catches you. All right, whatever, man. And that's fine. But that has to be the end of it. And I just hope that, like you said, is not a burgeoning problem for him.
No, I think it's a lesson that's novel to him because a lot of this is brand new territory. You can be a pocket passer in high school, and that's fine, but there are going to be so many games when you're as gifted athletically as Jordan is. And I'm not just talking about with his legs. I'm saying as an athlete, throwing the ball, running with the football in your hands, that it doesn't matter. You could make the wrong decision and get the right result on the scoreboard. Because that's high school football. For most of the guys that come to Florida State, that's high school football. You could have the wrong process, but have a great result, and nobody's going to be the wiser.
Because you're the better athlete.
And they're not going to talk to you because you're the stud on the team. Mm-hmm. But now he is having to deal with quarterback-specific problems at a completely different level, where there are dudes that can do something about it. Even if you have the right process, you could have the wrong result. And in this case, he had been failed by his teammates time and time again, to the point where when he finally made a mistake, it's just the world is on fire. What's interesting to me, though, is he has some experience with being let down consistently on the field. I'm not talking about by coaches because he got that too.
Oh, good God. Last year, he was let down on every one-on-one matchup that they had.
And on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And you never saw him lose it on the 5 up front. He always praised them. He praised them in the offseason. He praised his receivers. He did everything that he was supposed to do. So I think if you're looking at the total resume of when he is let down, even with a coaching staff, Willie or Petrino before him, the dude still takes the high road most of the time. I just think what's happening is the world has changed for him in the last 6 weeks rapidly. He's gone from a dude that this fan base doesn't trust to this guy might be the top quarterback in the conference. That's the way he was playing through 3-4 games. You go, oh my God, he's not a top 5 quarterback in the conference. He's top 3. He might be the best player, the most dangerous one week in and week out in the conference, to now you're coming back to earth a little bit. That's a lot to process. All the while you're learning lessons as a quarterback that are novel to you about not showing up teammates or not pouting on the sideline. It's just the man's had a lot happen in the last 45 days.
And this should be the game that we don't see it again.
I agree. You've got to learn from it. That doesn't mean that you can't continue down the road.
No, I mean, it's done. You've had 2 games worth of it. Let's go. Enough. Play within yourself. The expectations are what they are. This is what happens when you start winning games. This is part and parcel to the successes that come with hard work and improvement of a roster. So if he's going to be the player that he thinks he is and should be, and has been confident enough to be, to be up to this point, then this is what comes with it. I mean, this is, when you don't hear people criticizing body language or decisions or results, it's because they don't think you can play. So now you're going to hear it every week because people know you can play.
Yeah, nobody cares if Baker Mayfield looks and pouts on the sideline for Carolina.
That's every week. They suck. He's not any good. He's about to be out of the league.
Right.
Nobody cares. It's over. Yeah, I mean, that's right. It's ending quickly for that guy. But I mean, for Jordan, his best days are in front of him. I really believe that. And he's got an opportunity. He's never going to be, Jameis Winston or Trevor Lawrence or any of the elite. He's not 6'5", 230 with a howitzer, but he's good enough to be a good college quarterback. So,
and he's shown that his capacity to learn and develop.
Oh, and the work ethic and the commitment and the ability to endure a lot of adversity. These are really admirable qualities and things that I've liked about him and why I've rooted for him, even when I was critical of some of his play last year, which was, there was a lot to criticize. But he is a much better player now, which is why we have expectations.
And I give a damn more about the now period versus the future. However, with that said, you just see all of these things that are happening for him and these developments, these transformations. And I think for a moment, well, if he came back, and I know there's speculation about whether he does or he doesn't and whatever, but if he came back next year, you talk about a grizzled vet who now has seen it and done it in every way that you can from the position. You wouldn't see that next year from him if he came back.
When you become the guy as a quarterback like he is now, and you do have to make plays and carry your team, and you do have to lead as the unquestioned leader, because by definition you are as a quarterback. There's no getting out from that. You can't not be a great leader at quarterback. Man, that is a lot to adjust to, but it's also everything he's ever wanted. And that is the better way to look at it. Who cares about the external expectations? Find yours. Those expectations you've always had of yourself led you to this moment.
I agree, and I think that's eventually where this is going. But listen to Jordan when he tells you that the external factors have affected him in the past. They affected his confidence. He said on multiple occasions that I listened to people saying what I couldn't do, and I took that to heart. And in a way, this is not his word, but in a way, it's self-fulfilling. That's what he's telling us last year when he revealed that he almost gave up the game of football if not for Kenny Dillingham and Mike Norvell. And then this year when he said, I'm as confident as I've been since high school. And it's because I'm not listening to that noise anymore. You just wonder, though, he's telling you his human nature is to allow the outside to affect what's going on right now at times.
Yeah, it's a problem for him.
That's the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But he learned how to flush it for the bad, and this is a brand new lesson for the good. And then here you go. Somewhere in the middle, it will land. And the track record largely says it won't be a problem much longer. But it has been an issue.
The fact that it's affected him in the past worries you. It doesn't mean he's incapable, but it does worry you. because a lot of the guys that deflect that early on those are also indicators that that's never going to be a problem for them.
Yeah. Yeah, what it does for me, though, is it gives me more hope for him because he's faced something that those quarterbacks have never faced before, which is the demons. And he found a way to go from a place where he's questioning whether he ever wants to play the sport again, sport that he loves, to being the toast of a football program such as Florida State's and being one of the most improved players in the country year over year. I mean, it's not just us that are documenting this. I've heard on countless shows, television and radio and satellite alike, where they're saying that's a different dude this year. It's not just that their offensive line's better.
Yeah.
That dude is as improved as anybody I've seen on film year over year. So how is it that you've gone from a place to where you're listening to the critics and it's affecting you to you flushed it and you've gone to a place that you knew that you could go, but a lot of people doubted. That means that you faced the hard part of it. And a lot of those guys, they don't. Remember when Jameis, the Saturday against UF, after he had the hearing here at Florida State, the special
first
hearing?
Time he was ever affected by anything.
And you could see it on his face. Even that week when he was coming in and out of the facility, they had the shots of it because, of course, the national media was here. You saw it for the first time. The outside world had made its way into the space between his ears. And he looked like ass that Saturday.
Yeah, well, he was broken in that week, but it's crazy because it took everything under the sun to get to that point.
That's what crazy. I'm saying.
Like Jordan's not facing that.
It took, what was that, 11 months?
Yeah,
13 months?
He quite literally didn't know what was being said, I found out later on.
Right.
Which is really part of the answer.
It is.
It is so much easier to say this than to live it as a young man now. I mean, I get it. I'm no longer young. I marvel at the expectations, external pressures that kids feel today. And it is easy for me to say, well, just stay off social media. It's stupid anyhow. It's not the real world anyhow. Because I know that's true. They don't. They've been immersed in it and lived in it since they were alive, since they've been born. They know no other thing than that world. And you just hope that somebody's able to, somewhere along the way, yank that stupid electronic device out of their hand and say, it's not real. That's not real. Those people are going to say what they're going to say, and there's nothing you can do about that. But that relationship you have with your parents, your coaches, your teammates, your girlfriend, whatever, that's real. Care about what they think. Care about the people that you love in your life and what they think, but nothing else. And go play ball, man. Go ball. Everybody's got a word about that play, about that game, but you just don't know. You never know if somebody has that. I know that Florida State does a very good job, and I'm not trying to overextend this into something much greater than it really is. Jordan will be fine. I'm not worried about Jordan Travis. I'm not. It's worth monitoring. It's why we're talking about it. We just saw it happen 2 weeks in a row. It's worth noting because we haven't seen it before. But and Florida State does I know this for a fact, Florida State does a very good job, most universities do these days, of providing opportunities to learn how to deal with expectations and the pressures that come, mental health, basically, how to, use these tools that you're given to deal with whatever's going on in your life, right? Everybody could use that. That's everybody. That's true of therapy in general, is give the tools you need to deal with any situation that you're going through. I think he's in an incredible place of support. I mean, his head coach rode with him after everything that was going on. And in terms of the failures and the losses, and that's a guy that was pretty well unwavering, at least in terms of believing that Mike sometimes to a fault stands by everybody on that football team. It's why they love him. I'm not saying he should have ever turned his back on Jordan. I'm saying that, Fitzgerald, all these guys, right? No, going to stick with him, Well, that's good. That's good. I want my head coach to do that. He's got a lot of tools to help him deal with the pressures of now being a good quarterback. It's just as simple as that. Let's hope that we begin to see it this week. I don't think they'll lose this game, or they could win the game because of him, but I don't think they'll lose the game because of him. I think they'll lose if they lose for different reasons.